We teach them. We work with them. If they need certain types of therapy to kind of remove some of the excess baggage, like trauma cycling or anxious coping skills, bad habits, really, if we want to call it that, which I shouldn't call it that.
Why not?
Nothing's bad, right?
Why? Do you believe that?
I don't believe that. Anything about humans can be bad.
No. So you don't think there's a habit that's bad? No, here's what I mean by bad. A habit that shouldn't exist. Like a habit I shouldn't have. You don't believe that?
I think it's very subjective. So obviously if a client comes in and is like, I have a bad habit and I want to change it, I'm not going to be like, well, there are no bad habits, because like that client's idea of it being bad, fuck yeah, it's bad.
Right,
sure.
Right.
But my definition of bad doesn't really exist in the therapy room. Like I'm there servicing my client and their unique needs and interests. And it's usually through their own personal lens of good and bad.
Whoa, that's so interesting. So you're saying a habit that one client might have, which they personally believe is bad and they want to get rid of, and you might help them with. The next person might have the same thing. They don't think it's bad. It's probably not affecting their life as much as the previous person, and you might not work on getting rid of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is why, from your perspective, there's no like, this is bad and that is good. It's client dependent.
Yeah.
You see, that's why you're a therapist and not me. Because I'm just like, I'd blanket it all. I'd be like, this is all bad or this is all good.
Well, you're not totally off, because culturally we do have kind of these set ideas about certain things, like certain habits. Like we think of bulimia as bad, we think of cutting as bad, we think of suicide as bad. We have certain cultural expectations around certain behaviors or certain coping skills.
But wait, you're saying that bulimia is not bad?
I'm saying that there are certain things, certain behaviors that can be destructive. But who am I to judge my client when they walk in the door? And if my client, one of my supervisors when I was working in patient psych was like, we treat the heart attack, not the broken arm. So
hold on, let me think about that. We treat the heart attack, not the broken arm. Okay, so what did they mean by that?
So essentially in community health, or in kind of like areas where there's some serious acute stuff happening, sometimes you have to choose. When a client walks through the door and they're on a budget, or they have a limited amount of time before they leave the country, like we have to make a treatment plan. We have to set expectations about, what can we treat? What can we make happen in this amount of time or with this amount of money, honestly. So yeah, my client might be initiating some of these more destructive behaviors that culturally might be defined as bad. But like if my client's cutting, that's not the problem. Like what is pushing them to cut?
Yeah. Whoa, that's so interesting.
Of course.
Holy cow, there's a lot. So let's go back as far back as you'll take me.
Well, hold on. And specifically, if cutting is an alternative to another behavior, like compared to that other behavior, maybe cutting is good. Maybe it's just fine. Like maybe right now, as we're sitting together in the therapy room, like if cutting is your coping skill and your only other alternative is
suicide. Right.
Fuck yeah.
Right.
Like what am I going to do? Take away their only other coping skill?
Right. That is so interesting.
Yeah.
God, I'm sure I'm sure most people don't think of it that way. Like people see someone who's anorexic and they start what the flip's wrong with that person.
Yeah.
But you're right, because the alternative to them not eating could be much worse.
It's true.